So in this situation with the pelvis, if you're just rolling it back, I can really feel how there's just a spot right in there that just doesn't know what to do. Do you feel it? The pelvis is actually, most people don't realize, is a separate bone and with the tailbone, but it's not necessarily a joint that's flush. It's at an angle and the ligaments are all around it. So the Eggball really allows a way of getting at these ligaments and the joint to help facilitate the slide in the pelvis. And here I can work with the vertebrae as well to work on that twist through the lower back. Now this is comfortable, right? It's not pinching, right? So you could literally act like there's a set of hands back there, or where you handle just the movement through the knee and look for different ways to go at the hip. Can be quite fascinating. And just notice how I have my hand on the ball, so I am working the pelvis in the same direction at the same time. If I wanted to, and that would just add the complexity to it, it's just that light twist. So I'm bringing the ball down while the pelvis is going forward. And it turned out to be a completely different move on the other side of where the pelvis wants to go.
Really? Could that be from the injury?
Or just different from the left side to the right side. If you always say something is because of, the question was that the left side being different from the right is because of an injury. The answer, yes, could be yes, as always, but the problem is that you don't want to end your conversation point with it being because of the injury. It could be the way she crawled. It could be the way that the crib was situated when she was a child. She might have only had the window or the light on the one side and her body oriented to the other side. It could be because she's right-handed and it's just more movement memories in her system. It just, we're not symmetrical beings. However, the tush is getting quite nice. And see, now at this point, I can start bringing in the function of the ankle in with the hip joint.
So you really couldn't make a definitive answer without doing several lessons just like that to see if it did get more consistent both sides.
If you worked on both sides consistently, you can get it more consistent. Yes, that is true.
Mm-hmm.
However, the human brain only learns from good versus bad.
Right.
So lots of times we are different on one side for the other for that reason. You know, as my baseball player says, with the left arm, that's his money shot. With the right arm, he's playing high school ball. So,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and we tend to always go towards our strengths,
Yeah.
especially as we get older. Who wants to be weak? There we go. And now as the leg settles down onto the table, the back reorganizes quite a bit off of that.
Getting lots of rock and roll there, and wow. That's jello.
That's what happens when an elephant sits on a marshmallow. He gets a mushy tushy.
Yeah.
And notice how, even though there's speed involved, there's still a lot of articulation. We're not just, you know, it's not a force through. There's just a lot of nice movement here. So this is where, there we go. And the back's now just extending quite nicely.
I think another thing that makes a difference is having your leg on the ball is comfortable for the placement of the leg, whereas if you have your leg on your leg, it's like, well, what's comfortable here?
Right.
Am I cutting circulation off on the bottom side, or?
Yeah, well, not only that, but, you know, this is much more a hip.
Right.
So just that little bit changes the way the pelvis spreads out. And so now this also, when have you done this position the last time? So the ball's right here and it's just moving it around and it's like stirring a pot. And I could do all of this sort of stuff.
But if I have both legs also laying against each other, there's a friction there.
Yeah.
That we have to overcome too.
Right. Yeah, no, I just, you know, I sometimes could work days to get someone's tush to look like this.